I can't believe I'm about to say this. More injuries at Cobham. Are Chelsea just doomed? Are we just destined to fail this season? Are we destined to not improve on the Club World Cup and the Conference League and our top four finish? Are we just not going to improve this season? Are Chelsea really just going to suffer all season? More injuries. There's a lot to unpick. Welcome back to From the Shed. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, as always, as I always say, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. You like the videos. You let us know your thoughts in the comments. If, again, you're new, there's a Linktree link in the description that takes you to the socials, that takes you to the podcast, takes you to all the good stuff about From the Shed. So make sure you hit that Linktree link after this video. But Chelsea, Brighton, tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff, Stamford Bridge. We're back at home after a couple of away fixtures. But this comes with a couple of caveats and a couple of issues for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea Football Club, because from the press conference, which we'll talk about and look into some of those comments shortly, you'll see that there has been some more injury concerns. One of them self-inflicted by no other than Felipe Jurgensen. But we're going to get into all of that shortly. Now, Brighton, very, very difficult to come up against them, Brighton. We don't always, the recent times tells us that we don't always have it our way against Brighton, even in the Cup or in the Premier League. But after a really, really poor Manchester United performance, a sub-low performance against Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup, a really, really underwhelming performance against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and a 2-2 draw against Brentford not too long ago, I need to see something from this Chelsea. I don't want to be here tomorrow evening screaming through this camera, shouting, the mic levels are all over the place. You can't understand what I'm saying. I don't want to be here tomorrow evening doing that. All I ask from Chelsea is a very good performance, improvement from the last 4 fixtures. And whatever team Maresca puts out tomorrow, I want to see fight from the team. I don't even want to talk too much about the fixture. I just need to see fight, desire, determination. That's all I'm not asking for much. I don't want the lottery numbers. I don't want a Tesla, a Bentley, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, £1 million house. I just want to see fight and desire from the people that play for our football club. Wear the badge. That's all I'm asking, is a little bit of fight and determination. A little bit of creativity going forward. Decision-making at the back with our defenders. I want to see something. I want to see cohesion at the back. Now, I'm worried about this game. I'm worried not just for the performance, but I'm worried about the manager. There's been a lot of talk about Enzo Maresca this week. No other than Matt Law recently talking about the window's shut now, but you can't, as a manager in modern-day football, criticize the sporting directors. You can't criticize the owners. And I think these little snippets of information that keeps coming out, we're going to talk about the injuries, but the talk that keeps coming out from media outlets, I'm starting to think there's a separation between sporting directors, ownership of the club, and the manager, Enzo Maresca. And I'm starting to worry slightly that this might start impacting how we move forward as a football club. I hope I'm wrong. But Saturday has to be the turnaround for this football club. Injuries or no injuries. This has to be a turnaround. There has to be improvement with this football club. Now, let's talk about some of the comments made in today's press conference earlier on this morning. Now, of course, we know we're going to talk through this. We're going to go through it piece by piece. We're going to talk. Because we know that Cole Palmer, I've mentioned him many, many occasions on here. Cole Palmer. Enzo Maresca was asked about Cole Palmer. He was told, we don't think he needs surgery, but he will be out for 2 to 3 weeks. We will not expect to see him until after the international break. Now, that is a big concern, because that isn't just Brighton. That's Benfica in the Champions League, Jose Mourinho's Benfica, and that game against Liverpool, albeit at Stamford Bridge. It's still going to be a tricky game. And you do need Cole Palmer. And this is what I said after the West Ham game. And I said it against Manchester United after that game. Why were we playing Cole Palmer? If he's been injured since after the Club World Cup, why have we been playing him? Why has he not been rested? Why have we not tried to remove this issue, reduce the impacts of this rest to this injury? Why have we not done that? Why haven't we done that? It says here, we're not going to see him till after the international break. And I'll be honest as well. They're saying he doesn't need surgery, but you can probably say there's at least a 40, maybe even 50% chance we might need to give Cole Palmer an indefinite return date, because if he needs surgery, we might have to just allow him to have the surgery. Enzo Fernandez was in the same position not too long ago with his hernia. You can't play through certain injuries, especially groin muscular injuries like groins and hernias, and certain injuries you can't play through. And that's one of them. You feel any slight discomfort, you can't carry on. And injections work for so long, but after that, the injections stop working. So we're going to have to see with Cole Palmer. Now let's move on. There's more injury news to talk about. Enzo Maresca was asked about any other injuries. He went on to say, Tosin is now injured. He'll also probably be out until the international break with a small calf problem. Massive concerns. We're already light on the ground in defenders that we can rely on. I only said yesterday that we needed someone with leadership, qualities, experience, seasoned defender. And now we've lost one in Tosin, who I didn't even think ticks those boxes, but we've lost him. We've also, to add insults to the injury, no pun intended, we've also lost Wesley Fofana, who has been told he can't play for the next 12 days because of concussion inflicted by no other than Jurgensen at the Lincoln City game in the week. So now we've lost two centre-backs. It almost makes Maresca's job in terms of who to select in that back line for tomorrow's match slightly easier, but it does come with some concerns of who you're going to play and also how are they going to play. That's the massive concern if you're a Chelsea fan right now. But it does go on to say here that the rest are okay. Romeo, in terms of Lavia, and Benoit Badiashile are better. We'll see if they can join us tomorrow. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to be too early for them to come back into the starting 11 at least. I can't expect to see Badiashile or Lavia start in the game against Brighton tomorrow. He goes on again to say about Robert Sanchez. For a long period of time, he's been very good for us. Lost part of last season and also the beginning of this season. He obviously made the mistakes against Manchester United. We recognise that. But Maresca still adamant he's happy with both Jurgensen and Robert Sanchez as his goalkeepers. Now, we know, of course, Robert Sanchez served his one-game ban in the Lincoln City game, in the midweek game in the Carabao Cup. So he is back in contention to be back in the team for tomorrow's game. Jurgensen, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Question marks about him. And not just because of the midweek performance, but there's question marks about Jurgensen. There's question marks. There is question marks. We'll do our predicted lineup shortly, but Maresca on Enzo Fernandez. He's come out. He said he can play in different positions. I think this conversation will obviously be around the Cole Palmer situation, not having Cole Palmer available for the matches and the upcoming matches. So, of course, Enzo can play in the six. He can play as an attacking midfielder. We use him 90% of our games as an attacking midfielder. I think he's very good in that position. The reason why he can have some good and bad moments is the amount of games he plays. But interestingly as well, Enzo Maresca did mention Mark Gui. He was asked a question and he went on to say that the balance of the game, the balance of the team is important. Mark is working well and for sure will get chances. Now, I worry about that because my worry with that is you recalled him from Sunderland. You allowed Nicholas Jackson to leave. Last Saturday, we needed someone, an attacking outlet. When you take off Pedro, you take off Esteval, Cole Palmer comes off. It left us with no one. Tariq George comes on. You've got Mark Gui, who's an out-and-out number 9, who needs to be playing minutes, needs game time. Of course, we didn't realise he could play in the midweek in the Carabao Cup, but these things you need to find out as a Chelsea manager, that you should be able to play one of your players. But we've moved on from that. But Marc Guéhi, for me, has to play. Marc Guéhi has to play. To start playing games. He has to start playing games because we can't loan him out. He can't. He's not eligible for another loan, if I'm not mistaken. So he has to stay with the club for the remainder of the season. He can't go anywhere. Maybe he gets a move permanently away from the club. We'll have to see in January. But talking about defenders, he went on as well, Maresca, to say that there is trust and confidence in Josh Acheampong. He said as well that he trusts him not just because of the injury situation, but, he's part of the team. He's part of, the job. He can do it. So there you have it. There's the latest from the press conference earlier on today. Like I said, I'm very, very, very concerned about this team. How does it move forward? How do we get a win against Brighton? Very makeshift. We're going to rely on some players that maybe haven't played as many minutes as we'd like them to play before stepping onto the pitch tomorrow. But we are where we are. We are where we are. Now, we know that Brighton are going to be very, very up for this game. Hertzler's going to want to get 3 points. We know that Danny Welbeck loves to score. He loves to score against us. But they've got some good players. Matoma, another one. We know that they've got some good players in their team. In fact, we know that much, that we've signed half of them. So we know they've got really good players. Half of them are now at Chelsea. But tomorrow we have to, and I said it against Manchester, I keep saying it every week, we've got to guard against complacency. I want to see us on the front foot. I want us to score the first goal. I want us to create the chances. I want us to retain possession of the football. I want us to dominate at home. Because things will turn very sour very, very quickly at Chelsea. And we've seen it with other managers. It will turn very sour. 1 or 2, 3 bad results. And you start dropping down the table. And the likes of Manchester United take over you. Sunderland aren't that far away from us at the moment. Leeds aren't that far. You'll start seeing clubs picking up points. And if we're not amongst those teams that are doing that, question marks will be asked about the manager, about particular players. We have to be fully focused tomorrow. 3 games, 3 massive games. Brighton, Benfica, Liverpool. Now let's get into the predicted lineup for our match tomorrow. Now I generally think, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again, I think we need that extra body in midfield. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see us play with the 3 in midfield. I think we've got, as I said yesterday in the live stream, we've got 3 of the best players currently. Andre Santos proved he can come on and play football for us. This shouldn't be a problem. This shouldn't be a problem. Let's get into the predicted lineup. So I'm going to go with Robert Sanchez, who I can't believe I'm saying is the preferred option over Felipe Jurgensen in goal. Mr. Christopher Reeves himself flying out of the goal midweek in the Lincoln game. Now, I said yesterday, and I've said it many times before, Reece James has to prove he can play more than 1 game a week. And he can't just be coming on making 20-minute appearances here, half an hour here. I want to see him play back-to-back games. And I think this is where he starts to prove that he's a captain material, a leader in this team, on and off the field. And I think Malo Gusto, very good option. But I think we have to go with a strong squad today and for tomorrow. And I think Reece James has to be in that team for me. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Obviously, I've just said Wesley Fofana, Tosin are both out. You potentially think at least one out of those 2 would have started the game tomorrow had they not been injured or concussed. So I think we can only go with these 2 that I'm going to pick. And that is going to be Josh Acheampong, who I think, again, I need to see more from. But if you remember as well, he's not really put a foot wrong. He's not put a foot wrong. He's a very good player. He's very calm, comfortable on the ball. And normally when I say things like that, something bad happens to the player. They make a bad mistake, so I'm going to shut up. But I want to see something more from Josh Acheampong tomorrow. I want to see something where he might even force his way into a position for Maresca that he can't drop him from this back line. This is an opportunity. He's got 3 games now potentially to show what he can do as a right centre-back. And that'll be even more impressive because we know that he's naturally the right side, the right back. So if he can do something as a right centre-back, why not? Now I'm going to go with Trevor Chalobah, who again has come under a lot of scrutiny over the last week or so. But I think we have to trust that he can get the job done. As I said, this is a very makeshift, inexperienced, very inexperienced back line in terms of Josh Acheampong and Chalobah. And it's going to be very dangerous to play the two of them. As I said before, I don't think Badia Shield is going to be anywhere near match fit ready to start the game. Maybe comes on if you need him to, but I think we have to trust Chalobah. Chalobah's got a massive role tomorrow, and I think more so because of the pressure that he's been under for not just the Lincoln game, but also the United game recently. He has to have a solid game tomorrow. He has to put in a really good shift, and I hope he does. But left back, I'm going to go with my natural left back, which is Marco Correa, who I think, again, self-explanatory, does a lot of the dirty work. He does a lot of the dirty work. So I think we have to trust that Marco Correa can do that. Moises Caicedo, this is where it gets a bit tricky again, because I want to see Moises Caicedo in that base of the midfield, the DM, if you want to call it that. I want to see him helping. He's got a big job. He's got to help Chalobah. He's got to help Acheampong and be that sort of first line of defense. The destroyer in midfield. He has to do that job tomorrow. It's going to be difficult against Brighton, but he's got to put up a really good performance and help the two, I want to call them young, but the two centre-backs. Acheampong definitely we can say is the one that's going to need the protection a little bit more, but we've seen in the last two games that Chalobah, mentally as well, potentially, the games have impacted him, so we need Caicedo to be, and he's got extra flavour in this fixture. So I want to see him cool head, bossing the midfield tomorrow. Now, I'm going to go with the same two that I wanted to see at Manchester United, and that is Andre Santos alongside Enzo Fernandez in the midfield, because I think these two, again, Enzo Fernandez will be able to drive forward. I said all this last week. You need to have bodies in the midfield. You need legs, you need runners. With the ball, you can have all three of these. Dominating the midfield, dominating possession, making Brighton work extra hard to try and win the ball back. You lose possession of the ball, you sit these two back. Sit these two back. These two are your runners. Mr. Caicedo, you just take everything out. Make sure nothing gets past you. It sounds very simple, but in my head, this is what I would do. Now, the front three, I think, has been taken again away from Maresca a little bit with Cole Palmer's injury. We do have obviously Gittins and Garnacho that we can use, but I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go with what I think we should go with. I'm going to stick it first with João Pedro, who again has extra added taste to this fixture because of his previous time at Brighton. I'm going to go with Estevão Willian on the right of that because, again, we need to see more of him. And I think now, again, opportunity for Estevão Willian to come into this team and show what he can do. And show what he can do. Because I think he's got this game, he'll have the Benfica game, and he'll have the Liverpool game. No Cole Palmer, potentially even longer after the international break as well. So Estevão Willian starts on the right for me. Now I'm going to go with Garnacho because I was impressed with him. I keep saying I'm impressed with him. I think he's going to offer us a little bit more down that left side. Oh no, sorry, I made a mistake here. How could I forget Mr. Pedro Neto? Apologies. That's the lineup. How did I forget Neto? We've got that many players, I forget half of them, but I'm going to go with Neto. I think Neto offers a lot more. Garnacho, I think, would have offered us a lot more as well, but I think Neto, speed, athleticism down that left side, being able to get the ball and drive it forward. Estevão on the other side, I think we need powerful, strong, intelligent, attacking wide area players there. I think both of those are very good. Feeding João Pedro service into the box, attacking threat. That's the lineup I would go with. Very makeshift at the back with the two centre-backs, but this here for me is crucial. Free in midfield, overload the box when you get opportunities to. As Enzo Maresca just said, he likes to play Enzo Fernandez as an attacking midfielder, allow him to drive forward the ball. This is my opinion. I would love I would love to hear your opinion, what you think we should go with in terms of the lineup, in terms of the predictions. I think it's a hard one to call. Now, we haven't had the best of times against Brighton. My heart is saying 2-1 Chelsea. I'll be honest, I'd even take a 1-0 Chelsea right now. I can't see that because I think we'll concede a goal. So I'm going to stick with 2-1 and I'll take 2-1 and let's hope we do get the 3 points. Because if we don't, there's question marks about Maresca, team, in-game management, substitutions. It's all going to be, it could be chaotic by 8 o'clock Saturday evening. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your predictions are for this fixture. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Can Chelsea redeem themselves after 3 bad performances? Let me know what you think in the comments. Until then, we will be back. Enjoy the match if you're going. If not, enjoy the weekend. We'll be back soon with the match review.